Hello, dear art friends and YouTube followers. Today I'm going to be painting poppies, and if you have a particular style of brush that you like to use, go grab it. Today I'm going to be using a dagger brush. This particular dagger brush is made by Christy Rice. She has a collection or a set that she sells on Amazon for a very affordable price, and I love it for her dagger brushes. So I will be using this, and I will be painting with Art by Ways paint palette. This one is a coral red, a grass green, and a deep ocean. Her dots that she gave me with a palette that I recently ordered. All right, let's get to it. I am going to start with petals, and my petals have to be generally no more than 4, but they're very layered, so they can look a little complicated. So I'm going to kind of explain the process for you a little bit here and show you, and then just kind of go free and let go without talking too much. So I'm actually going to start with a very raggedy petal. I'm going to make it wide and long, kind of like that. I'm going to curl it in a little bit, kind of like that. And then I'm going to pull a small one right underneath. And the purpose of this is to hide the one that's flapped this over. I've got another petal. This one is going to be a underlayer petal. I'm going to make sure this one's raggedy too by adding some line work. But this is going to go right here underneath this petal. And it's going to stop here. And then I'm going to take this one. I'm going to put one more underneath. This is still raggedy. Got that raggedy edge. Pull, 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 pull. And there's my first poppy. Drag this in a little bit. We're going to have a indigo center on this poppy, and I may come back to it and add some more layers as I work. So my indigo layer is going to go here. If it bleeds, fabulous. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. We can add little stamens to it to make it pop. Okay, cool. There's my first poppy. All right, my next one's gonna be a side angle. We're gonna make it a little higher than this one. Jaggedy, jaggedy, jaggedy petal. Another one right next door. Jaggedy, 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 jaggedy. Just like that. Now you can leave it as those 2 petals and assume that the other ones are hiding behind it, or you can put some on top. Try not to make them too symmetrical, because they generally tend to overlap in unusual ways. And then I'm going to make another one. This one is going to pop down here like it's hiding underneath. I'm going to make one more poppy flower. Again, I'm using this coral red. Use whatever colors you are fond of. This one is just going to have 3 jaggedy petals. No hiding under or below. Just like that. I'm going to grab some more of this red. Connect it together a little bit. This one too. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab some greens. Now, most poppies that I've seen come in a light green, but you can play with it. I am going to have these very wiggly stems, and they're going to come from all over the place. Poppies are wildflowers, so they don't have a whole ton of like uniformity or rules. They do what they like, just like a cat. See that bleed in there? I had a little puddle. That's okay. At least I think it is. If you're not okay with that kind of stuff, go back and dab it out. You can use paper towel. I'm gonna grab a little bit more of this green, darken it up. I'm gonna start making the buds that are so common in these wildflower poppy fields. So I'm just gonna make these big, bulbous little buds. Now that's got a little bit too much pigment in there for my liking. So I'm gonna actually pull some of that out, like this. Now I have it on this brush. I'm gonna make another one over here. I'm gonna make a bunch of little buds like this. That one's kind of weird, huh? There we go. Another one down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Maybe 2 more. I'll have one sneak behind here. And then where do I want the last one? Maybe here. Right over the branch. Okay. I'm going to add some darker green to that just to give it some depth. I'm going to use forest green. You don't need to paint over the whole thing, you're just adding it. This guy here is getting a little too soupy for me. I'm gonna pick up some of that. The paper towel is so damp right now. And if I'm not fond of that bloom, I can still go back and fix it. That's not a problem. I just gotta let it dry a little bit. Okay, now I'm gonna take and grab some stems. Like I can just grab them. Then I come down here and go up and around. Just up and connect. Up and around. Because they do what they like. Down. You get choice here on this, guys. And then this one we'll do down through here. Okay, so I've got some poppies and some buds, and now I'm just gonna go and do my favorite part, wiggly, weird leaves. I'm just twisting and dropping and making detail. It's not anything that I can really explain in too much detail, except to say, try and spread them out a little bit, play with the shape and the abilities of your brush. Know that there are no rules when it comes to your joy in painting. Yes. And if you want to add more, you can add more. Maybe add a little bit of color to this. Now I'm going to come back in. I'm not actually going to use this brush anymore. I'm going to use the tip of a dry wedge, though you can use the tip of any brush that's super tiny. I'm going to use the indigo, and I'm going to make sure this is, make the anthers or the stamen. Which is sometimes the most fun part. You can connect them, or you can just leave them be. I'm just going to pull out a bunch, and then we can assume that those are connected. We'll just leave it like that. I'm going to grab a little bit of this, add a little bit of different color to these flowers, just because I like it. I like when something unexpected shows up and you're like, oh, what's that? Like that. And a little bit more here. think it's done. I hope you enjoyed painting poppies with me today.